it's pretty emotional.
To have the personal stories and the emotion and their passion and their joy at sharing it with others was just truly incredible. Fabulous experience today.
You know how Mexicans like to throw a party about everything? So it's a big party for the people that are dead.
Hi, I'm Justine.
And I'm Daryl.
And we're the Breakaway Bravehearts. And today we're celebrating Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, a fabulous Mexican tradition which, thanks to the wonderful people at Casa de Mexico, we get to experience here in Madrid, Spain.
When you come into this place, it's actually a little part of Mexico, and you can feel the warmth that you also feel in Mexico, and the people that smile, and it's a very a very lively place.
Every year we do Dia de Muertos, but every year it changes. It's like 3 altars in the whole Casa de Mexico. This is the biggest altar. We have another one a little bit smaller in the first floor, which is our own altar for the people that we work here, and in the other one, which is the personal altar of Eugenio Cabarello. The whole idea was from Eugenio Cabarello, which is an art director who works with some of the best people in the film industry in Mexico. And this Eugenio Cabarello won an Oscar back in 2006, I believe. This part of here is inspired by a cornfield, but it's upside down. Yeah, it's upside down. In any altar in Mexico, what you put in the altar is, for example, for the person that you are missing because he's already gone. Because the thing is, when they come back on the night of 1st and 2nd of November, you have to greet them with the things that they used to like when they were alive. So it's like somehow come here and that's the thing.
The roots of the Day of the Dead go back 3,000 years. The Aztecs held a cyclical view of the universe. After death in this realm, each person had to go through 9 challenging levels of the Mictlan. This could take years, so family members provided food and drink, and this is what inspired today's Day of the Dead practices.
We have like 3 or 4 elements in the altar that they have to be in the altar. For example, one is the fire, because when the people are coming from the Mictlan is like the heaven for the Mexican culture. Mm-hmm. So when they come back from the Mictlan to the world of the alive, so the people that we are still alive, you have to find candles or lights.
The light is a very important part. It's usually candles. And over here you have the salt.
Because salt is like meant to purify the altar, and then you have to also have this flower which is called cempasúchil. But from October to November, I mean, I would say all the houses in Mexico, it's full of this flower, and the colors used they're orange or even yellow. They are meant to show the way to the people who is coming back from the Mictlan.
And food, very important. The favorite food of the person that you're dedicating the altar to. Also, it's very important to have the cross. You know, you see a cross. Usually it's a salt cross.
And then you also have the pan de muerto, the classical dessert for this time of the year.
On the top of the pan de muerto, you have like these little fingers that are crossed, but like it's bones. Also like bones, but it's also a cross, you see?
This is called Papel Picado. And the thing with this Papel Picado, which is all color and it's, for me it's beautiful, is the thing that when this Papel Picado is moving, it's believed that the souls are coming back from the Mictlan. So if you see this thing that's moving, it's because the soul. Yeah. Wow. And in this altar, you can find this little dog over here. This little dog is called Xolo. And it's a very rare dog, which is only found in Mexico, I believe. And it's the dog that goes with the person or with the soul that goes to the Mictlan. It's like your partner.
So everyone gets one?
Yeah, when you go to the Mictlan. And if you see some pictures, for example, from Frida Kahlo, or they used to have a Xolo.
So you've got something personal on this altar?
Yeah, she's my grandma.
Wow.
More emotional for us because you can find all the people, and even the pets that people working in Casa de Mexico used to have with us. For me, I used to grow up with the Catholic way of seeing the death, the concept of death. But then when I live in Mexico, I understand that death is not the end. So for me, it's just, I mean, my grandma is like here with me.
If I may add, it's a celebration. So you look at it with joy and you look at it with happiness, and you're very happy, and it's like, oh, this is the way that my grandma or my grandpa used to live, or my parents or my sisters. And it's kind of you know how Mexicans like to throw a party about everything? So it's a big party for the people that are dead. So I think that it's pretty amazing, and it's also a different way to look back to the people that you loved. And it can pass from generations to generations. For example, if my kids don't meet my grandparents, you're still going to be able to know them through the objects that you start putting in the altar and all of that.
So this is a big piece which is inspired by a real piece that we're going to see upstairs in the second floor, which was made by a Mexican artisan called Javier Martinez Pedro. It's called painting in papel amate. Papel amate is like it's from a tree. It's from the
Oh, yes. And then it's a special tree, and then you slice it very, very tiny. What is very interesting about the papel amate is that they tell a story through the drawings. So Eugenio Cabarello, the designer, creator, met with the artist Javier Martinez Pedro, and he told the story that wanted to be presented here. And the artist created it in a papel amate and then replicated on a big size. And if you pay really, really close attention, when we go to the second floor, you'll see some of the pictures and some of the details on a very, very small scale.
So this is the real painting, which inspired the painting downstairs. Yeah, this is days and weeks and months of working.
For me, this really, really amazes me. Yeah. It's like, wow. Yesterday he was telling us, the artist, that sometimes it gets really tired for his eyes because he needs to work very, very close. Yes. And the paper is white. So it's white and black.
This little character in the middle of the thing, this is called Mictlan. Mictlan is the god from the Mictlan. So, and you can see there's like a figure like he's offering, I don't know, some kind of food or drinks to this god to get into this Mictlan area.
So what is very funny is that the ancient Mexicans, they thought that when you die, you don't rest. You know, you have to keep thriving. You have to earn it, you know? So you'll see on each of the sequins that you have over there how, like, sometimes it's very, very cold wind, and then you realize that it's actually knives. So you need to go through that.
So when they described the 9 levels of the Mictlan as difficult, they weren't kidding. It takes 4 years and includes not only a wind of knives, but also a mountain range where mountains crash into each other, and a river of blood with fearsome jaguars. What happens at the end?
They rest.
They rest.
Finally.
Okay, good.
So they do get to rest.
Yes, after 9 years, 9 words,
Yeah.
I don't know how many worlds. But yeah, they get to rest. And they get to come to visit every year. I know. In Mexico, something that really goes with Day of the Dead is that you go to the cemetery. You go and you visit your loved ones, but there's also music and people dancing, and you dance and you eat, and then it's like, yeah, kind of like a parade going on inside the cemetery. So it's really fun, and we look forward to that date. Because you know that it's going to be remembered in a very lightly spirit way.
Yes.
So there are like some similarities with every religion in the world, but I believe this way of treat with death, for me it's just more healthy somehow.
Feel a nice closure and a nice remembrance.
One of the things we noticed was the mix of Christian icons with ancient pagan traditions. For most Mexicans, tradition and religion is now a seamless integration, and the differing beliefs don't seem to compete.
It's called syncretism between religions, because you can see the Catholic Church, but then it's also with these fruits and with these vegetables and with these flowers. So it's just like a mixture of, okay, that's Catholic, but you used to have like pre-Hispanic traditions and beliefs. So that's the interesting mixture.
The Spanish took a lot of traditions that were already living in Mexico and they adapted so people would feel and keep celebrating their own traditions with slightly changes.
Yes.
For example, the skulls, they're made of sugar. Before, they were actually skulls for real, like people's skulls. So they were like, no, we cannot have this. We're going to start doing them about sugar. And all the skulls that you see on the altar of dead are going to be made of sugar, but real sugar. So at the end of the altar, you can taste it. Yeah, they're too sweet.
It's like a candy.
But it's way, way too sweet. So this was real back then. Of course, nowadays it's not.
The funny thing about this is you're not going to find two similar or two identical skulls. They are all different in somehow, in the technique that they're made. Yeah, they're unique.
The Casa de Mexico is more than just Dia de los Muertos and celebrates Mexican art and history all year around. There are a number of fixed and fluid exhibits that are all free entry and allow visitors to learn more about Mexican culture through tradition and modern art.
In the alleys, in the corridors, you can find another pieces. This is, for example, from Michoacan, which is a state in the southwestern of Mexico, and it's all made of, I don't know how you say when the sun meets the...
That is clay.
Clay. For us, the most difficult thing is to keep the piece in one piece. Every 2 or 3 days, we have to move a little bit and clean all the little things that came down from the...
So it's all just quite delicate then?
Pretty much.
So this really blows my mind. It's called Monja Coronada, but you can see all the details, and they put it in the oven in different parts, and they put them together afterwards. So we were really scared when we got them, like how we're gonna handle and move this around, but we managed to put it there with no harm. We do try to have and cover different states around Mexico, and also different techniques. But this is very interesting because it's food. So in Spanish, it's el árbol del mole. How would you explain mole?
Mole is a mixture of chilies, and then there's chocolate, and there's also like nuts.
I think that you can see the food that are used mainly, the ingredients on the mole. And
You can find this over there is called chiles en nogada, which is very popular in September, which is the patriotic days of Mexico in September. So it's called chiles en nogada, but you also have these quesadillas, or this is called mole con pollo, is chicken with this mole.
you can see another technique over there. This is made of wood. It's different. And this is arte huichol. So it's really, really nice, and there are different pieces, and you can see different techniques. Come really, really close, you're going to see the detail. In Spanish, we call them chaquiras, and they pointed one by one.
Right?
Yes, but like very, very detailed. But they pass generations through generations. You don't study in a formal school, but your grandma teaches you, your mom teaches you, and then you keep going. So that's actually from Nayarit, Mexico.
Yeah.
Sadly, nowadays, some of the families don't want to keep going with the tradition. With globalization and all this, they know that there are different things to be done. But there's actually a program that is trying to maintain and conserve all the
traditions.
Yeah.
There is so much to see and learn at Casa de Mexico. And as we came to the final 2 pieces, we found ourselves reflecting on the beauty of tradition and the generosity of those who share their cultures with others.
This is the most, I would say, accurate altar, because this is the real, what Eugenio Cabarello would put or he puts at his home. And for example, this is the little machine this is the Premiere Pro from 1 century ago. And those are the white skulls, that's the sugar. Actually, there were some people that with the pan de muerto or with these things at the first days, they would just like take into to it, but we just have to say like, no, that's part of the exhibition, so please don't.
Are you guys going to eat it when you pack up?
No, too many days. We bring all this from Mexico, so
It's a bit old.
yes. It's been through customs and all that. So you can imagine how many days.
How many hands have touched it?
And this is the last part. We just ran out of papers because we used to have like thousands of papers on which the visitors just write a message for the beloved ones. And then tomorrow we have like this little ceremony when we burn all these papers. I'm talking about thousands and thousands of papers from all the visitors that we have in Casa de Mexico during this month. And like this a little ceremony in which we burn the papers so they can go, the smoke can go up to the air, so somehow all the messages from the people can go back to the beloved ones.
Wow,
so that's a very lovely tradition, and it's pretty emotional. Some of the people here in Casa de Mexico, who we do this ceremony, we just get somehow emotional. They are not even our relatives, but somehow you read some of the papers and you get some, your heart.
Very touching.
Yeah, it's very touching. So many people who come here in Casa de Mexico from Spain, there are any kind of reactions. There are some people that love it, and there are some people, mostly, I would say, all women or all people, that's like a little bit of conflict because they are used to go to the cemeteries and it's all black and it's all like sad. And then when they come here, it's like, well, I like it, but I'm not used to it, so it's just a little conflict in their minds. Yeah. But mostly they love it. I mean, we have, not today, but last weekend there was like the queue was like people waiting for more than an hour to see the altar. Well, I'm so proud to belong to Casa de Mexico because I'm Spanish, but I lived in Mexico for more than a decade. So for me, this particular tradition of Dia de Muertos, it's very touching because for me, my culture, in my education even, death was seen like a dark scene or like a sad moment of the year. But this is much more better for me. I mean, it's just colorful, and it's just you receive your people in a much more celebrating way, because you just remember them in the good old days. For example, my grandma, I'm here with her, and it's not that she's gone, but she's here with me. So that's a very touching moment, touching thing for me.
For me, it's a privilege to share something so personal and also bring a little piece of Mexico here. Mexican, and of course, living in a different country, it's sometimes challenging, but to be able to share and touch the lives of other people, and they come at the end of the exhibition and they are like, okay, we can see that from a different point of view. It's so amazing, and I'm so happy to be a part of.
To have these people just give themselves up to us like that, I just feel absolutely bewildered, I have to say. I'm so very grateful.
I am just blown away and quite overwhelmed. There was a lot to take in, but to have the personal stories and the emotion and their passion and their joy at sharing it with others was just truly incredible. Fabulous experience today.
I didn't realise everything that goes into this, and that has been a real eye-opener to me. And just see the passion of the people who have just taken us through the tour, and how you can see how emotional it affects them as well. I think it's awesome.
What I loved about this was the colour and the celebration and the story that goes along with it, that it's real people's stories. I have to say, I think this is one of my highlights from being in Spain.
If you find yourself in Madrid, then Casa de Mexico is definitely one place to come to. Make it one of your stops, if not the only stop, here in Madrid.
And now we're excited to be heading off to Vietnam to experience yet another rich culture and history, and we hope to share this with you.
So please subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you can join us there.
We're going to be back in Spain in March. Until then,
Happy travels, everyone.